Surprising how he gets it through instinct now. Very nice. Okay. It's been a minute. Hello. Hi. Buenos dias. Awesome. It is a Sunday, and it is a super warm one. So this is gonna have to happen. But did you know things are heating up? There's like a lot of things happening in the future, and again, just having fun. It is summer. Go enjoy yourselves. Put on some sunscreen. But also, yeah, enjoying the vibe. We're about to hit that final echelon that really pulls at the heartstrings and the heat. So, with all that being said, getting ready for the California sun and all that. It's been good. Yeah, I don't. There's just it's to me as a human being, as I still perceive myself as one. It is illogical how much can change and has changed in just these simple 2 weeks. And while we won't get into everything like that per se, we are truly living in unprecedented times where information, personalities, and opinions are being flinged back and forth. And again, it's such a big universe that there are so many opinions out there, just as many religions are out there. And I don't believe in forcing someone to follow a certain doctrine just so you can prove yourself to reach some certain limit of justification. But there is truth and hope and inspiration and moments of reflection through our cultures that have been kept, preserved, personified, whatever, for whether that be the stories that we learned, those stories that we grew up reading, the movies that we saw when we were younger, the stage plays that made us. That's where I take the most comfort in understanding just what our limits truly are. And none of that happens alone. Meaning that the simple fact that we are able to share that information, that culture, that inspiration, that spark, that's what we're looking for. So, in a universe dictated by certain asshats that have never lifted a shovel in their lives, whether to start building a foundation or whether to bury a loved one. So hey, grab your snacks, get your mugs ready. It is a Sunday fun day, and here we go. What the hell am I doing here? I don't belong here. I don't belong. Bam. That was not scripted, by the way. But this was. If he knows how to do it. Please be the right chords. I would say I'm sorry if I thought that it would change your mind, but I know that this time I had said too much, been too up high. Tried to laugh about it, cover it all up with lies. I tried to laugh about it, hiding the tears in my eyes, 'cause boys don't cry. Boys don't cry. I would break down at your feet and beg for forgiveness with you. But I don't know it's too late, and now there's nothing I can do. So I try to laugh about it, cover it all up with light. I try to laugh about it, hiding the tears in my eyes, 'cause boys don't cry. Boys don't cry. I would tell you that I loved you if I thought that you would stay, but I know that it's no use and you've already gone away. Misjudge your limits, pushed you too far, took you for granted, that you knew that with my I would do most anything to get you back by my side. But I just keep on laughing, hiding the tears in my eyes, 'cause boys don't cry. Boys don't cry. Boys don't cry. Yes, I was gonna go British with that. Then I felt it. So I did it. Let's see if this one's messed up. I'm a puppet on strings, Tracy Island, time traveling diamond, confident shaped heartache. And come to find ya for in some velvet morning, yes, too late. She's a silver lining, Lone Ranger riding through an open space. In my mind when she's not right there beside me, I go crazy, 'cause here isn't where I wanna be. And satisfaction feels like this memory, and I can't help myself alive. Running to say is, are you mine? Very nice. Are you mine? Are you mine? Nice. You. Guess what I'm trying to say is I need to deepen, keep imagining meeting wished away. Entire lifetimes fair enough, there's somewhere misbehaving for days. Straight escapes, lost track of time and space. She's a silver lining climbing on my desire, and I go crazy, 'cause here isn't where I wanna be. And satisfaction feels like a distant memory, and I can't help myself alive. One never says, are you mine? Are you mine? Are you mine? Oh. And the thrill of the chase moves in mysterious ways. So in case I'm mistaken, I just wanna hear you say you got me, baby, are you mine? She's a silver lining, Lone Ranger riding through an open space. In my mind, when she's not right there beside me, I go crazy, cause here is where I wanna be. And satisfaction feels like a distant memory, and I can't help myself, alright. Wanna hear you say, are you mine? Are you mine? Are you mine? Oh, mine. Wow, Arctic Monkeys and their very fun strap pad or strumming patterns, as you can tell. Very, very good. Bueno. It's already there. I feel the California heat. So, let's have some fun. I'm going to leave you to some Led Zeppelin, apparently, and to our very capable hands on the side. So, with all that fun, catch you guys on the flip. Ja. Bueno. Oh, shoot. It is true. The heat is real. So, let's talk about the news. Man, the heat. Meaning the heat on Nintendo V Pal World. This is true, man. If you remember, maybe like 2 years. When was the Pal World original beta? You know what I mean? Just think about that. And then think about how long ago that happened. And now think about how much funding has had to go to continue these jury trials. Yeah, that's where we're starting from. So, let's find out. Because Pal World's lawsuit nears end with Nintendo reportedly poised to gain almost nothing. This is by Andy Robinson over at the Video Games Chronicle, VGC for short. Nintendo and Pokemon Company filed its lawsuit against Pocket Pair in 2024. Called it 2 years. Alleging that the Pal World infringed on 3 patents related to monster catching gameplay, all of which were initially filed by Nintendo and Pokemon Company after Pal World's initial release. Initially, Nintendo and TPCG called for injunction against Pal World that would block its release. In response last summer, Pocket Pair confirmed that it had made significant changes to the game due to the patents. I wasn't saw patients or parents, but patents such as removing the ability to summon pals via sponsored foul spheres, which limited to the scope of the lawsuit not just to the Japanese market, but also to older versions of the game. As reported by GameStray, both parties appear to have submitted their evidence, and court presentation is planned for October 1st, with opinions expressed on November 9th. However, because Nintendo and TPC amended the scope of their claims so that the case limited to older versions of Pal World before Pocket Pair made changes restricted to sales only in Japan, they are in line for limited damages or nothing at all. Crazy. Even if, which is far from a given, Nintendo overcame all the usual hurdles, defending its patience against Pocket Pair's invalidity. Cool. tensions, proving infringement, and ultimately proving that any damage was caused by the alleged infringement. We should become a lawyer sometime, you know? Most of it could get its JPY 5 million and the equivalent of 30k, Games Fray reports. This litigation is no longer anything serious in commercial terms, and it's about a hypothetical injunction that doesn't apply to current product versions. If anything, small damages award for a period during which Pocket Bear generated limited new sales in Japan. End quote. To put the potential 30k settlement into context, Nintendo's most recent annual sales reported that it had made a 40 million loss from patent litigations in its last business year. That's what we're talking about right there. 1 year, 40 mil. Pocket Pair recently confirmed that 1.0 version of Pal World will release on July 10th. Quote, "We are fully committed to delivering deeper and more evolved and definitive Pal World experience worthy of a full launch," it said. End quote. Wow. So, if you felt like the justice system was quote-unquote losing its edge, technically what I'm starting to understand from this is that because Power World is still in pre-beta or pre-launch, right? It's in beta, it's pre-launch. Technically anything that they change in that game and systems and blah 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 makes it a different Power World that Nintendo sued against. So that's why that window is so small, which is hilarious. And again, 40 million lost from patent litigation, which is again 2 years in the works. So let's just be generous and say that the first year was 10 million, even though let's just be generous, say 10 million for the first, no, 20 million, right? Yeah, okay. So half of that for the first year, that means 60 million completely lost on this firm and litigation. And they're only going to get 30k back from it. So what does that mean for Nintendo? It means they can go. No, I'm just kidding. It's I don't like reveling in the idea that things are not going well for people, quote unquote. But I guess if you're talking about a corporation and a business and people who have been making questionable decisions, i.e. trying to copyright game mechanics, which is literally gatekeeping game system mechanics, and that in its own should get you like slapped or something by the game industry. Like, that is an insult to everything that we stand for, and to think that it's coming from someone like Nintendo, A, says a lot about their position in the universe, B, says a lot about how they feel about that position, and C, shows what kind of lengths they would go to. And again, as we've been complaining about forever ago, that certain people have certain stocks and stakes in Nintendo at this point, and certain Saudi Arabian individuals might have more pull when it comes to these decisions. But the question being is, so then what is this all for? And who are we really working for? As in, who are we designing these things for? And if it is who you say it is, your investors, then yeah, why would we personally be disappointed or offended by these results? So I'm putting that very lightly. I don't know what it is about me being in my in summer or the elder years, or maybe because life happens so fast, but I feel like I'm taking this fairly nicely in stride. So hey, let's see how far we can keep up that one. So with all that being said, man, I really hope that Nintendo gets their thingy together and they stop being potato, and I hope every company honestly stops being potato and we get our stuff and we start actually putting in the work. And you know me, technology, innovation, style, and creativity, a little bit of heart goes a long way. So let's see what else is going on in the universe. Because where the heart does not lie. Because shareholders are trying to bully Elden Ring maker from software into divorcing Bandai Namco. Allegedly. is by Rebecca Valentine over at Kotaku. We all know how we feel about Kotaku, so let's do this. Whew. Cool. Alright, let's go. There's an activist investor and takeover bid going on right now at Kadokawa, parent company of Elden Ring and Dark Souls maker From Software, and connected to Sony, let's not forget. From Software specifically is playing a big role in the investors' pitch. They're sick of giving sacks of money to Bandai Namco and want to see From Software publish its own games. Fair enough. This comes from a presentation given by Oasis Management, an activist investor that has recently begun to bid to oust Kodokawa CEO Takeshi Natsuno on the basis that he has allegedly mismanaged the company. Oasis offers a number of reasons it believes this to be true, but a presentation given to its investors last month, one of its major points is that under Natsuo's leadership, From Software is leaving huge amounts of money on the table by letting Bandai Namco and other publishers games like Elden Ring. Others publish games like Elden Ring, got it. From Deck highlights the incredible success of Elden Ring, which was published by From Software in Japan, but Bandai Namco overseas. According to presentation, with over 90% of Elden Ring sales were generated overseas, and as a result, Kodokawa, quote, benefited little from the game's global success. Oasis' argument is that Kodokawa has grown as a company in both headcount and capabilities, and the shift in gaming to increased digital distribution has made it easier than ever to self-publish. As Oasis points out, it's been suggesting self-publishing to Kadokawa since as far back as 2020, and self-publishing games that even been part of Kadokawa's own management plans at one point back in 2023, before later being removed from future decks. Okay, quote. Under a simplified scenario analysis, From Software were to produce another hit title compared to Elden Ring with sales exceeding 30 million units, the absence of self-publishing will once again result in substantial economic value being left with external publishing partners rather than Kodokawa shareholders, or Oasis rights. Let's do this. Cool. It would admittedly be a little tricky for someone From Software to self-publish everything, even if it wanted to. While it officially owns the Elden Ring trademark fully, and thus could self-publish in Elden Ring 2, it does not own Demon Souls, or Bloodborne. Any future games in or any of those franchises will need to be negotiated with Bandai Namco in the first case, or Sony in the second and third, who might be reluctant to give up publishing rights. Though perhaps that's Oasis' points here. From Software isn't exactly in control of the things making it money. That's the major issue for the company's future, or at least for the wallets of its shareholders. Then again, From Software's next title, The Duskbloods, is fully owned by From Software, including publishing rights. This might indicate that Natsuo is starting to move in a self-publishing direction anyway. It takes time to develop a game after all. Elden Ring was first revealed in 2019 with a delay already in place with Bandai Namco. A year before Oasis sent its letter about self-publishing, From Software couldn't very well have dumped its deal at the stage even if it wanted to. Also, Natsuo wasn't even CEO until 2021, well after these deals were signed. Very well maybe a lot of ballyhoo over nothing, which is another thing to keep in mind. Concerned shareholder profits and not much else here. Oasis is also the same company that's previously tried to get Nintendo pivot to free-to-play mobile games and charge players $99 to get Mario to jump higher. What? Immediately, that was a decade ago, but it's not exactly indicative of a company with great ideas about video games. Wider concern for fans increased controlled by Oasis, which now owns 13.76% stake in the company, more than Sony, would result in unwanted interference from Software itself. Then Faminko Gamer actually reached out to the director for comment for the whole situation, and Miyazaki mostly seemed to want to stay out of it all. As translated, quote, I'm not saying that there's no room for improvement, but we can freely make the kind of games we want to make without excessive interference. Quote, I think for both myself and From Software, the most important thing going forward is to maintain this environment and focus as much as possible on the game development, end quote. Whether or not this turns out to be a problem for From Software or the games, won't actually become apparent to June 24th when the vote on whether or not to retain Natsuo takes place at Kodokawa's general meeting of shareholders. Even then, a lot depends on who is actually appointed in his place, how much influence Oasis has over them, and how deeply Oasis wants to stick its hands in From Software's affairs. Okay, I'm gonna be real with you. I was kind of ping-ponging back and forth a couple times here. Because originally, Bandai Namco is the guys that publish games like that, and we've seen that, and they've been doing anime stuff, and then apparently From Software falls in line as an anime game. But they're kind of right when they're saying that it sucks that From Software didn't have rights to publish those games, meaning that there's a reason we haven't had a Bloodborne in 60 frames per second, i.e. 120 frames per second at this point, because come on, man. Come on. So, if you're ever wondered why that wasn't a thing, that is exactly why. So, the point that is being made that we should be doing our own things is a good idea. However, knowing that now that it comes from certain people known as Oasis that have their brains in certain minds, it does make sense that as a leader, right, From Software, that you would stick to the big dogs for a cool minute. Now Namdai Banco has been publishing for generations at this point. Shit, I got a Eureka 7 2 on PS2 in my shelf, and that says Namdai Banco. So the fact that they did and they took that route makes sense, and it also kind of shows how quote unquote ambitious, but how dangerously ambitious certain young people in management might be. And that kind of gives insight into how certain CEOs people make decisions, and you go and think about it like, why are we paying these people this much money if they're gonna make these crappy ideas? And well, now you know. So a little bit of both sides. It's very up in the air. This is very like weird, because obviously it's Namdai Bamco. You got certain Saudi Arabian stocks in there. Now you have Kodokawa, which has Sony stocks invested in that, and it's like basically it's a three-way battle. Like, one is defending themselves, and two people are trying to take over the company. So where they go and how that's going to change the From Software environment, i.e. culture, is kind of what we have to look forward to, because we can't really do much about anything else. So there's hoping for something nice in the future. And call me crazy, but I still believe in a Bloodborne 120 frames. Let's do it. Let's get it done. But hey, something that's not getting done over at Microsoft, considering spinning off Xbox, speeding up Elder Scrolls and Fallout game releases. Report. This is by Gabe Gerwin over at GameSpot.com. Microsoft's potential options for the future of Xbox brand repeatedly include spinning off into a separate company or operating as a wholly owned subsidiary, rather than a division within Microsoft. According to the information, these are just a few options Microsoft is considering. Xbox has struggled in recent years, most recently losing millions of subscribers to Game Pass subscription service. After a major price hike, Game Pass has at least partially seen improvement following a price cut that also removed Call of Duty games from the library. Baka. A spin-off would, on paper, make the Xbox brand free from high profit margin expectations of Microsoft as a whole, though it would also no longer have access to vast resources of such company. The information report also said Microsoft is planning to increase investment in a few of Xbox's biggest franchises, including Halo, Elder Scrolls, and Fallout, in order to speed up development, but just what that means remains unclear. The Elder Scrolls 6 and Fallout 5 were both technically announced many years ago, but with very few updates on either, while Halo Campaign Evolved will serve as a stopgap of sorts when it launches next month for the first time on PS5 in addition to Xbox and PC. That PS5 release may be a one-off for Halo, however, as Microsoft looks to renew focus on console exclusives. Reportedly had Gears of War EA reportedly had a PS5 version in the works, but it's no longer coming to the platform. Sheesh. So a lot of salt on both sides over there, because quote-unquote E3 not E3 happened, and we saw them present their stuff, and while it was quote-unquote cute, it had a lot of like updates and all that. Something that I did notice is that we were leaning heavily on CGI trailers again, and to me that doesn't necessarily show that we're ready, quote-unquote, just that we want to be ready, which is exactly what I remember Fallout and Elder Scrolls 6 feeling like when they were announced many years ago, apparently. So put your finger on that one. I know Xbox is quote unquote doing a lot of things right now, but honestly, dude, I wouldn't trust that until it happens. I'm still waiting for the other shoe to drop, and apparently we've seen the emails, and we've seen that maybe that drop is coming. So let's find out a bit more. Because Microsoft CEO says, quote, "There's more monetization on Xbox X happening on YouTube than Microsoft." All right. This is by Michael Kripe over at IGN. Microsoft CEO Nutella says he or she believes there's no monetization of Xbox games happening on YouTube. Oh, there's more. Than at its own company, following Xbox boss Asta Sharma's recent commitment to reset the gaming branch. Nadella commented the state of Xbox in 2026 during a recent conversation with Hardfolk when asked about Sharma's memo, which saw her outline a plan for the next 100 days amid a tumultuous time for the company, which she said was the current change we will see from the Xbox team trying to figure out how to innovate both in hardware as well as in games, going forward in an economically viable way. Quote, "No one can accuse Microsoft of not having invested in the last 25 years, Nadella added. Now we have to turn this into a sustainable business that developers what is fundamentally one of the best sources of entertainment. Still," end quote. It's no secret that Xbox is going through a rough patch. While Microsoft Gaming Division gained a fair bit of momentum from the Game Showcase 2026 presentation last weekend, it was almost immediately put right back on the hot seat as fans grew increasingly confused by its exclusivity strategy. News that the company had lost millions of Game Pass subscribers following an October price hike, as well as questions of whether or not the brand was fixable, didn't help the situation. It all came to a head when Sharma posted her June 10th memo, this is what we're talking about, saying that although her first 100 days since taking over as CEO had been positive, rough waters driven by a, quote, "hardware component crisis lie ahead." Now as Xbox looks into business models, Nadella has chimed in. Quote, "Still, the challenge we have is not been monetizing that entertainment," he said. "In fact, if anything, we've been subsidizing that entertainment." Quote, "There's more monetization of Xbox games happening on YouTube than at Microsoft," and Nadella added with a chuckle. "So that doesn't mean we're going to do things that are unnatural. We want us to do what is really our job, which is to build great games, build great hardware, but we've got a lot to do in an economically sustainable way," end quote. For now, Xbox will continue charging ahead in hopes of carving out a more sustainable future, and blah blah blah. So there's that. So he's basically just saying that there is more money going through YouTube, like streaming Xbox games. Is that what I'm understanding? Because that's really important. Because again, that tells me where these people's heads are at. And these people, what do you mean, you people? CEOs that are focused on how to renovate more, revenue, and that's where we're left with, right? Okay, I'll give them like a small pass because Xbox is obviously not the greatest or the strongest in terms of like brand quality or brand recognition or brand quality and brand like loyalty. There you go. So I'll give them credit where credit is due. They have to do a lot of catch up, right? But again, it is hard to not understand that something is being milked when you look at it and you realize you can understand that perhaps certain things are being showcased too fondly. I'm not really sure if I'm making that make sense. It's just hard to, again, we're just going back to the idea that there's a lot of CGI trailers, and my biggest potato-ness was when they showed Scalebound published by or being developed by Platinum Games for the Xbox One, and again, that made me buy an Xbox One, and that game got canceled. So that is Xbox One on the screen right now. So that game got canceled. So that, to me, I just never really turned around. Game Pass was something that was kind of interesting. I bought a laptop and I wanted to run specs, so I bought Game Pass for a month. I ran games. It was pretty cool, and I just kind of moved on from that. That was when Halo 6 Guardians or whatever came out, and I was able to quote unquote get into the PC gaming space. So it's not a terrible idea, but again, how can you continue supporting something when you know it's just better to support the developers directly rather than throwing money at this big ass conglomerate and hoping that the developers get the revenue that they deserve, quote unquote. So there's not a lot of things going in their direction, quote unquote. And if they don't have the finances, because again, this is freaking Microsoft, they are the ones that started this whole AI revolution by signing a contract with that one company, not Sora AI, GPT or whatever, Sam Altman-Whitman, whatever his name is. So again, if you want to go out there and be like, oh man, things are gonna be hard in the future, we gotta hopefully make money off of the things that we can quote unquote count on, that we can lean on, the cow needs to be milk, quote unquote, then it's hard to say that and look like quote unquote sad or like, oh man, this is gonna be so hard, when you were the ones that started this AI revolution and caused the pricing crisis at this point. So again, you have to take everything for what it is, and maybe that's why I'm still waiting for the second shoe to drop, because I don't believe much. So hey, I'm here for them in terms of like, if they get their stuff together, they could potentially outpace PlayStation in a way that could put them on square footing, and I would like to see that in the future. I would really like to see that. It would cause PlayStation to step up as well and hopefully get out there, but who knows, the future and all it holds. And of course, the company that's out there doing the most potato-ness, Nintendo, temporarily suspends sales of multi-region Switch 2 in Japan after suspected hoarding. What? Multi-region version is only available on Nintendo's own store in Japan. Got it. Unlike other regions, Japan has two different versions, a Japan and domestic only, and multilingual version. The Japan only version is only available to purchase from general retailers, has Japan's as the console's language setting, and only Nintendo accounts that can be linked to it are those within the country region setting to Japan. The multilingual version, meanwhile, works like a Switch 2 consoles everywhere in the world and lets players choose their language region settings as normal. The version is more expensive, however, and can only be purchased directly from Nintendo on its online store. Following recent price increase, the Japan-only version went up from $31 to $375, but the multilingual version stayed at the same price, $435. Okay. Meaning, Nintendo has now stated that it has temporarily suspended sales of multilingual version because it believes some users are hoarding them to scalp them. Quote, "We temporarily suspended sales of Nintendo 2 on the Nintendo store after confirming several orders that appear to be hoarding," it said via machine translation. Quote, "In order to deliver the product to more customers, we will now be selling it only to customers who meet the following conditions. We appreciate your understanding," end quote. Players will only be able to buy multilingual if their total Switch play total Switch playtime was 50 hours or more by the end of May 31st. If they meet this condition, they will be able to buy one multilingual console. The purchase limit includes any they may have already purchased. Damn. One potential reason for alleged hoarding is the current state of yen means that the multilingual version is cheaper than the Switch 2 console in other regions, something that will become even more stark once Nintendo's planned price increase takes effect in those regions too. As of December 1st, the price of a Switch 2 in the US will increase from $449 to $499, meaning that Japanese multilingual version will be $65 cheaper at the current exchange rate. In Europe, the price of the Switch 2 hardware will also increase from €49 to €499 to the multilingual's price in Japan is currently equivalent around $375, meaning European players may be tempted to import from a Japanese scalper one to get one cheaper. Assuming that scalpers don't put on their own scalping price, right? Isn't that the whole point of scalpers? So, pretty wild out there. When I say the world is burning, I mean it. So, it's the end of the world as we know it. But hey, at least it's better than aliens invading us. Because not even Steven Spielberg can slow down Obsession's box office bonanza. Let's go, baby. Although Disclosure Day had a great opening weekend. This is by Thomas Franzese. Very nice. Over at Polygon.com. Steven Spielberg's Disclosure Day did better than expected in the domestic box office this weekend, but even its solid performance was enough to slow Obsession down. Deadline reports that Disclosure Day will make $44 million domestically in its opening weekend, although that's lower opening than movies like Devil Wears Prada or Michael. It performed better. Damn, it did worse than Devil Wears Prada? Shit. Performed better than box office analysts expected. Disclosure Day opening weekend is the 5th best among Steven Spielberg's wider filmography and the best for a new IP from Amblin Entertainment. Worldwide, the movie is expected to gross $92.9 million by the time this weekend is over. Although Disclosure Day put up a respectable opening weekend performance, Obsession is truly astonishing movie this weekend. It's expected to gross $19 million over this 3-day weekend, which is only a 25% drop from last week. That's an impressive holder for the horror flick that was made for just $1 million and has seemingly just grown in popularity since it hit theaters in May. Boy! Very nice. Okay, I see what you mean. Sheesh! The fact that it's outgrossing the likes of Backrooms and The Mandalorian Grogu in its 5th week is truly outstanding. If you're curious about this weekend domestic box office is shaking out, its top 10 rankings on Sunday morning. Hey, that's today. Disclosure Day 44, Obsession 19, Scary Movie 14.5, Backrooms 11.26, Masters 8.66. Damn. Mandalorian Grogu. Oh shit! Take that, Disney. Michael 4.5 million. BTS. Oh yeah, that did happen. Airbag. This is like a live showing, isn't it? Yeah. The Furious 27.5 mil. Stop That Train 2 million. I went to go see The Furious. It's a damn good film. I hope I can talk about it later. But ultimately, it's not too surprising that Disclosure Day and Obsession are doing so well at the box office because both are amazing films. In Polygon's review of Disclosure Day, Brian Volkooker wrote that it's, quote, not only hooked me with its thriller aspect, but made me feel a bit more sentimental as well, like the Spielberg movies to watch when I was a kid, end quote. Yes. Polygon has similar praise for Obsession, with Jesse Eisenberger calling it an, quote, assured and freaky debut from the writer-director Curry Barkey. Expected both Disclosure Day and Obsession to remain in theaters for some time. Yes! That's good, man. It's good. I really, really enjoyed those films. So, being able to watch them and like see them online is pretty chill, man. Very, very nice. Again, a little sad. Steven Spielberg is like, you know, being kind of clowned out at this point. Like the internet is clowning on him a bit. But I do believe that it was a good film, and I will stick by that. I'm cool with that, man. I got your back, Spielberg. Don't trip, fam. Got your back, homie. So, that being said, though, oh god, Obsession is so good. It's so freaking good. And like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of lonely dudes out there just watching that film over and over again, because it really means that much. So, if you want to know something that means much, another thing that means much, the Batman Part 2 sorry, I can't take this seriously. The Batman Part 2 officially begins filming as Matt Reeves shares first set image. Who? That's Twilight, buddy. That's Twilight boy right there. So, this is by Michael Crape over at IGN. As years of waiting and one big delay, Matt Reeves has confirmed Batman Part 2 has officially confirmed principal photography by posting the first image on set. Filmmakers behind the Robert Pattinson-led DC movie took to Twitter. It comes with a picture of a clapperboard featuring its bat symbol logo with a blurry background, showing what appears to be a person's body lying on a table or slab in what looks like a lot like a morgue. Oh, I see that. I see that. I see that. I see that. So this is like, what are we talking about? We did Riddler. Hugo Strange. We're gonna do Hugo Strange. We're going to Arkham, baby! Alright, cool. Unlike DCU's Superman sequel Man of Tomorrow, the first image of the set of the Batman Part 2 provides little in way of identifiable information, so it's a positive update as filming for the sequel takes off in London, and will no doubt have fans spinning theories about who exactly is on the table. What's on the table? Brings to the table. Okay, cool. Who's that? One fan questioned. Quote, I need to know who's dead right now. And another. Quote, the Batman already opened with the dark scene of the mayor getting hit with in the head multiple times, someone else said, but Matt Reeves is seemingly going to make Batman's Part 2 opening even darker, like the opening of a film inside of a morgue and showing the deceased body. Matt Reeves is the GOAT, end quote. It should not be noted that the films are generally shot out of sequence, so the first camera scene that is filmed is often not the scene that actually opens the movie. Got it. Despite Reeves and the rest of DC drip feeding the internet, the plot teases major cast updates over the past year. We still don't know much about Batman Part 2. While some believe the infamous Court of Owls will play a large role in the sequel, others looking into the past posts from Reeves believe Mr. Freeze could somehow show up. Cool. Last week, Patterson shared details about his process when it came to training for his return as Bruce, and just yesterday, Colin Farrell spilled the beans that his Penguin character will only show up for 2 scenes. Batman Part 2 is currently scheduled to premiere October 1st. While you wait for any hard news about what's in store for the Greed version of the Cape Crusader, go learn. Yeah. So there you go. Just a little bit of information. I know we got a lot of Twilight fans out there, me included. So, no, not true. So we're looking forward to that. Finally, we're getting some information. This guy took forever to get into his role because he did Mickey number 17. Mickey 17. He did the movie where he married not Timothée Chalamet, where he married Spider-Man's wife. The drama. It's called The Drama. It's actually pretty good. And yeah, so that happened. So a little bit of information. It gives us hope. I'm looking forward to the Batman. The Batman Part 1 was one of my favorite representations of Batman. So kid's got some skill, you know what I mean? He might be going places or something. You never know. So looking forward to that. Hi. Well, let's get a little serious, shall we? Go. Firefighters investigate explosion caused by MetaQuest 3 in main home. This is by Zach Koitzer over at Kotaku. Virtual reality promises to bring the game experience to life, though no one expects this much collateral damage. According to firefighters in Frankfurt, Maine, a MetaQuest 3 battery is suspected of starting a small fire in a residential home. While there were thankfully no direct injuries, surreal footage from the home shows the dangers some unattended batteries can unleash. Local news reports on June 11th, a Frankfurt resident left an external battery charging on a nightstand. While outside, the resident heard a sudden noise from inside their home. In a set of videos provided to the local fire department, the home security on the main floor picked up signs of danger in the bedroom above. Red flashes of light flared and is joined by a sudden pop of sound. 4 concerned dogs come sprinting downstairs, glancing back warningly. Soon after that, a small fireball rolls down the stairs. Holy shit! A flaming chunk of MetaQuest debris spooking these adorable pets further away. No! While the explosion is caught directly in film, the Frankfurt Volunteer Fire Department wanted to illustrate the hidden dangers of the in-rechargeable consumer electronics. The nightstand is about 14 feet from the stairs, and the stairs are about a 15-foot long, posted the fire department on Facebook. Just wanted to give you an idea of how bad this was. While explosions such as these are uncommon, rechargeable batteries are a known fire hazard. Valve has warned Steam Deck modders about the potential dangers of tinkering with the battery, and owners of early PlayStation portables may dig their units out to discover how it has hunchbacked. Safety is one of the growing concerns with electronic vehicles, as well as a combination of vicious electronic fires and door glitches have turned some Teslas into a kill box. Sheesh. Local news says that the MetaQuest explosion is currently under investigation and that the home is being examined for any potential harmful fumes. That is rough, my dude. Okay. So something to note, technology, all that. As we go forward with the VR goggles and all this stuff, our future. You gotta be careful. Summertime. I think about this every single freaking day because I turn on that car and what is it called? That the subwoofer in the car has an amplifier in the back of the car, and that amplifier heats the fudge up super freaking hot on a normal day. So whenever summer rolls around, I am very terribly concerned that the back of my car is gonna explode one of these days. And honestly, I don't know if that's justified or not, but just I'll keep on thinking of that so I can keep myself safe. So who knows? But yeah, man, it's pretty serious. So stay safe out there. Poor doggos. Let's watch this video. I don't think I'll be too loud, right?
Firefighters in Waldo County are warning people about the potential issues with VR headset batteries. Officials in the town of Frankfort say this Meta Quest 3 was charging on someone's nightstand when it exploded. Video from the homeowner shows an orange light at the top of the stairs from when the battery supposedly caught on fire. Moments after that, there are more flashes, and you can see the face of the headset then tumbling down the stairs. Firefighters say the fire marshal's office is now investigating. We have reached out to learn more.
Oh, and that's what started the fire. That's probably the battery or something. Shizzles, bro. That is crazy. I've never seen that. I've never seen that. Sugoi, stay safe out there. You never know. Alright. Looks like we're in the home stretch, fam. I'm cool on this. So let's wrap stuff up. Let's wrap things up. Because something important to me, you may have noticed. The kid always has a fighting pad, but he never plays fighting games. What if I told you? I was waiting for the right thing. Just kidding. Wireless Flex Sticks pre-order is now open. This new Flex Sticks launches in August 2026 and will support PS5 and PC. Pre-orders are now open. This is priced at $200. That's something to keep in note. It is the thing that I was, waiting on. Obviously, $200. I'll just lay this out for you. Is what that PlayStation Portal handheld thing costs. So, at least when it launched, that's what that thing costs. So to think that this thing is gonna cost the same as that handheld, this shit better make toast. So. First original fight stick, the Flex Strike utilizes PlayStation Link wireless connection, enables saber cool features, pair of headset earbuds. Ability to pair a wireless pulse headset or earbuds for simultaneous lag-free audio. You can also connect 2 Flex Strike sticks at one PS5 at a time for local multiplayer. Okay. Flex Strike features an 8-button layout and joystick with black and white color scheme, matches the look of the PS5 peripherals. According to Sony, features a sturdy, economic design. Comfortable feel during intense fight session. It's unclear how moddable the Flex Strike will be, but so far Sony has confirmed it will have 3 different movement gates for the joystick: square, circle, or octagon, that can be swapped out without needing tools. Cool. Square, circle, octagon. Probably circle, no? Octagon. And can be swapped out without needing tools. It will be a built-in compartment for storing the extra restrictor gates and the included PS Link adapter when not in use. Rest of the inputs, face buttons are all those. Mechanical switches, the rest of the standard inputs from PS5 dual sensors are also present on the fight stick. All those. There's also a lever mode switch for changing how the stick operates, and a lock button. You'll be able to wake up from the PS5 from sleep using the Flex Strike PS button. Will include a long sling carry case. Reveal notable with several reasons, from most obviously being that this is PlayStation's first original fight stick peripheral. PS5 has plenty fight sticks. I still have one of those. We're curious to see how PS5 dedicated model made specifically will stack up to the third-party options. In addition, Flex Strike Sony is also launching 27-inch gaming monitor, pulse elevated wireless speakers, and DualSense controller cradle open to $350. Not bad. Flex Strike reveal was notable for several reasons, most obvious being its first blah blah blah. Sure, that's a repeat. What the hell? If you've been thinking of getting fight stick, the reasons: Street Fighter 6 is getting Tifa, that's my thing, and new challenges, Missile Versus, combos, Tekken Fighting Souls is what I'm looking forward to, and Guilty Gears with Lucy as a work character. So there you go. The line. So hey, a quick little side about, but that's kind of where my brain's at. 2 things to note from this. It's $200. That is where we're at with controllers now. I really hope it is worth the price. I could have seen this at $150. I believe most fighting pads are like $150, so it didn't have to go that crazy. But hey, here we are. Yeah. This is dumb. All right, cool. So moving on. Very nice. But y'all know, if I'm gonna buy something, I'm gonna buy at GameStop, apparently, because they got credit. And what are you doing here? One of the only good things left about GameStop is about to get worse. Sheesh. This is by Ethan Gatch over at Otaku. Shift from physical games to digital has decimated GameStop. Anyone who's been inside stores know that toys and collectibles like Pokemon cards now outnumber the Switch 2 and PS5 game sitting. Only one reason to still buy games from GameStop is its Pro membership program, which has some significant benefits for people who buy lots of new releases each month. Unfortunately, it's about to lose one of the big ones. A memo that went out to the store's employee this week, a copy of which was shared with Kotaku, indicates that the point system will soon be removed from the Game Pro membership program. Currently, Pro members get a 2% rewards on most purchases. Points that earned can be redeemed. Say you buy blah 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 blah. You'll have roughly 17 worth of points in addition to the program's other discounts. That's pretty good. It's not amazing, but it's better than nothing. GameStop is even planning to take away as it closes stores to try to cut costs. Quote, Pro points accrual will end for new members beginning July 15th. That's next month, literally a month from now. Existing members who renew before then can keep earning points until August 15th, 2026. What? At which point, all remaining points will expire for everybody. That's a bummer, but for the wild part that GameStop doesn't appear to be charging anything else about the membership. Is that GameStop doesn't appear to be changing anything else about the membership. GameStop Pro will cost $25 a year despite becoming worse. For anyone who hasn't used it in a while, it no longer comes with a subscription to Game Informer either. Some employees are also wondering if they still expect to upsell customers just as aggressively on the membership despite the nerf. Quote, customers are already frustrated when I told them that I couldn't redeem their points through my POS reportedly over a 3-month period. Wrote one user on GameStop's Reddit. Quote, I can't wait to tell them that GameStop has told them to go F themselves and killed points entirely instead of fixing our backend. While CEO Ryan Corin is trying to meme stock his way into the C-suite at eBay, staff in GameStop stores have had to put up with increasingly challenging working conditions as the company downsizes and tries to pivot its next payday. Employees are held to absurdly sales metrics and given outside responsibilities for below-market pay. One apparent employee on the subreddit even called for others to boycott the program over the new changes. I say this for a reason, quote, they wrote. Quote, if we all drop in Pro, they can't blame any single store. They will be forced to realize the decision was a stupid AF. Do not confuse that with me saying that they will care, but they will have to realize it. Just stop trying. End quote. GameStop did not immediately respond to a request for comment. Damn. So there is that. I'll level with you. I have a credit line. I will use that shit, and they will probably close down even faster. It is a bummer because, again, digital being digital, it gets disappointing when the physical games that you want to pick up are, quote-unquote, no longer being sold by these people because they only buy one copy or something. But that people like Nintendo are like even releasing game cards that don't have anything besides basically a code to unlock the digital purchase, which is so freaking potato and frustrating. So when it comes to game preservation and trying to make this all stick around, honestly, GameStop was kind of like one of my last bastions. It wasn't great, but it still had purpose. And not saying that purpose is gone, but I can totally see people quitting on GameStop and GameStop no longer being around. So this is probably the closest I've ever felt that GameStop is about to close down. Now that they fucked up the pro rewards or something, yeah. So unless they fix it up or something, I don't know, dude. We had a good run. One of some of my earliest memories is going to GameStop and seeing Mega Man X4 on PS1 and being like, why the hell does he look so cool? So hey, there's that. To the good times, to the bad times, to our future. Because SpaceX is now a public company valued for its AI potential. What comes next? It's by ArsTechnica.com. What? You thought I didn't like technology? Space exploration technology is better known simply as SpaceX has become a publicly traded company on Friday, nearly a quarter of a century after it was founded. 25 years? Wow. Company began trading on NASDAQ exchange at $135 a share. Damn. Vaulting SpaceX at nearly $1.8 trillion by the end of trading day. Company shares were selling at $160.96, a respectable increase of more than 19%. Damn. On paper, ex-founder became the world's first trillionaire with his personal stake on the company valued at more than $700 billion. Because of the company's stock options plan, thousands of current and former employees became overnight millionaires. Employees at SpaceX have worked remarkably hard over the last 24 years, and now they will be richly compensated for having to do so. SpaceX now stands as one of the handful of the most valuable companies in the world, should it be. There's a broad disagreement on whether SpaceX is fool's gold with its sky-high valuation or represents a valuable opportunity to finally own a piece of a dominant space company that could someday command the business of data centers in orbit. SpaceX is now largely an AI company. One thing is clear, SpaceX is now subject to significant public disclosures, and it will conduct much more business in the public eye. Although Musk retains complete autonomy on terms of ownership and voting rights, he will now be beholden to shareholders in a very important way, the price of his company's stock. Most shareholders bought SpaceX stock today not to be part of the company's long-term plans to settle Mars or to help NASA land humans on the moon. Certainly some space enthusiasts did. However, most people invest in stocks to make money. As SpaceX makes clear in its S1 document filed in May, however, the company value does not lie in its space-enabled solutions or its Starlink internet constellation. As part of its total addressable market, the company's views that these comprise less than 10% of its value. Rather, Musk and X will see the majority of its value in providing AI services, mostly from space, primarily from enterprise applications, and investigators agree that that's where the vast majority of the company's profit lies, if that's where they will want to see SpaceX put its time and resources. As of today, SpaceX is owned by investors who largely want to make money to reach an enormous valuation. It must make that money through orbital data centers. This is a sobering thought for NASA, which was the company's most important backer during its early years when bankruptcy was never too far away. Even a decade ago, a majority of the value of SpaceX contracts were coming from NASA and other US government entities. Since then, however, revenues from Starlink have begun to significantly outstrip NASA's contracts, and this will likely become even more true in the future. Damn. How much is the profit for Artemis? How much of a priority is Artemis? NASA relies on SpaceX for so much right now, flying its astronauts in the most important science payloads into space and playing an important part of the Artemis campaign. But the $2.9 billion contract on NASA signed with SpaceX in 2021 to build a human landing system for the moon program is now regularly dwarfed by the AI compute contracts of SpaceX is signing with companies like Anthropic and Google, which are worth tens of billions of dollars. For SpaceX, the money, at least in the near term, is in AI. It is not NASA government contracts, yet NASA is desperate for SpaceX to begin delivering on critical milestones for the Artemis program in the coming months and develop the capacity to land humans on the moon. The key to all this work on NASA is a massive Starship rock and how SpaceX will prioritize its further development. The large rocket appears to be closing to reaching operational status with the ability to put about 100 metric tons into low Earth orbit. Assuming that happens in the coming months, how will SpaceX use this Starship launches? Will it spend its energies on preparing and launching critical refueling and demonstration in orbit, in which will require back-to-back Starship launches?
Will it fill up any lander prototype next year, which means a dozen or more tanker flights simply to be enabled
and uncrewed further landing for tests for NASA? Or will the company focus on putting profit-making Starlink satellites into orbit, followed by critical tests of data center satellites? In short, will it follow the money? It is a valid question because investors will be watching closely. And so will we. So that sucks. I don't like that NASA is not being funded. I love NASA. And it sucks that all that innovation is being funneled into a quote-unquote private company that has now become a public quote-unquote company. So again, we're going to see what happens, but it's okay. It's just going to be rough. So that happened. Musk is quote-unquote a trillionaire through to all the fake money that is being generated in the stock market. So we will have to see what happens with that one. Again, a lot can change in a really little bit of time, and that is definitely true in the markets. So if you're out there, if you're investing, hopefully it's something for the future. Something positive for the future. But hey, I'm just a guy, and the future is so far away. Bueno, ladies and gentlemen, it's been another news of the week. Very nice. What do we think? It's just a lot of hope being placed on a lot of corporations that may not have the best interest in humanity. Granted, that's not a quote unquote a requirement, but there does have to be a balance, in my humble opinion. When it comes to creation, there has to be a sense of a touch of personality, right? Like a little bit of fun, a little bit of love, shall we say. When you make food, you make it with love. And I do believe that creates the difference. That makes all the difference. So if we're completely focused on the corporate and those numbers are going up, but we're losing a lot more heart than what it's worth, then yeah, I would hope that things sort of balance out in the grand scale of the universe. But we'll have to wait and see, man. We know that D-Rump is having his UFC fight at the White House. We know that is being paid for with taxpayer money, and we know that he's only doing it to celebrate his birthday rather than America's 250th birthday. But what we don't know is what that's going to mean in the future. So I look forward to something positive. I look forward to being happy, and I look forward to us having good times. And if that sounds good to you, then hey, join us for the ride. So, with all that being said, let's jump over. Getting ready to get out of here. The heat kind of cooled down. We kicked on the AC. Just the fan. I don't like using AC, but definitely a fan helps with the ventilation. So I do appreciate that. So with that being said, I'm gonna jump back in here. Have some good times. Chotto mate. Low-key kind of hoping there's like a poppy noise here out there. So, okay. I didn't get to talk about it, so we'll talk about it now. So, I've never seen The Amazing Digital Circus, but I know of it. And clearly, the Pomni character has been around for a cool minute, right? So, I'll leave it at that, where that lies. However, I had some free time. We were going to go watch Scary Movie, and I got there a little early than the rest of the mates. So I did my usual spelunking at AMC theaters, and wouldn't you know it, I stumbled upon the Amazing Digital Circus final episode, blah, 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 blah. And I sat there. Or actually, I didn't sat there. I stood against the wall in the hallway, and I just let the thing happen. And I watched, and I listened, and it was about what I expected, right? You get a lot of conversation about like fandoms and certain people and like what it represents, blah blah blah. And I've heard the stories, and I kind of assumed that it would be what it would be, right? But there is a reason why it be like that. In that movie theater, there was a bunch of people just kind of reacting. It was interesting. But they were also like clapping and cheering when certain emotional beats were hitting. And I can only imagine how much quote unquote clarity or what's the word? Closure those people were receiving in that theater. Again, I can only imagine because I heard them clapping every time something happened. But it was nice, right? Being an outsider and not really knowing why they mean the things that they mean, but being able to appreciate that they mean what they mean for that exact reason. That does put a smile on my face. And yeah, for as much as I thought that the Digital Circus would be exactly what I thought it would be, they had some things to say, and it actually hit somewhat personally, and that was something to think about. And yeah, I'm just saying all that to say that there's a digital circus in the Fortnite. So there's your marketing material 101. But what I didn't know is that they use Unreal Engine to animate the digital circus in YouTube. So if anything, it all goes full circle, and that's kind of cool. So hey, it's a big world. Lots of people, lots of emotions, and I hope yours are doing all right. So let's go ahead and wrap things up, and vámonos a la fregada. At least I think that's what it is. Yeah. Aha. Oh no. Sit there in your heartache, waiting on some beautiful boy to save you from your own ways. A big forgiveness watching out, here he comes, he doesn't look a thing like Jesus. Ladies and gentlemen, imagine when you were young. Can you climb this mountain? I don't know. Now than ever before, we can make it if I take it slow. Let's take it easy, easy now, watch it go. We're running through the highway, skyline, not a hurricane. It started turning when you were young. When you were young. And sometimes you close your eyes and see the place where you used to live when you were young. They say the devil's water, it ain't so sweet. You don't have to drink right now. You can dip your feet every once in a little while. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. You sit there in your heartache, waiting on some beautiful boy to save you from your own ways. You play forgiveness, watch him now, here he comes. He doesn't look a thing like Jesus, but he likes a gentleman, like you imagine when you were young. Talks like a gentleman, like you imagine when you were young. I said he doesn't look a thing like Jesus. He doesn't look a thing like Jesus. But more than you'll ever know. Wow. Man, I love coming up with a certain riff style and then halfway going like, yeah, maybe I should go back the other side. And then not working out. Hey, it works. Aha. Let's see if this works. Also, I think I heard movement in the background, so that threw me off really bad. I apologize. I'm gonna try to ignore it. They can bother me later. Talking away, I don't know much to say, I'm saying anyway. Today's another day to define you, shying away. Nothing coming to you anyway. Take on me, take me on, take on me, come me down, and I do. Needless to say, I'm odds and ends. I'll be a stumbling away, slowly learning that life is okay, and say that to me, it's no fears in the safe and sorry. Take on me, take on me, take me on, take on me, down me gone in a day or two. Things that you say is a life or just to play my worries away. You're all the things I've got to remember, shying away. I'll be coming for you anyway. Take on me, take on me, take me on, take on. I'll be gone in a day. Take me on. I'll be gone in a day. Close enough. I really hope we're not beeping. Was that it? That was it. That was it. Okay. I got nothing. That was it. Bueno. I think I heard noise outside, but I'll figure that one out later. What we do have today, I think we got a gym session. Yeah. We're sweating enough. Might as well get it done. That means I can drive down to GameStop and I can pre-order that Fighter Stick Pro. Lots of fun things to do, and I hope you have fun doing the Mountain Dew. So, with that being said, take care. Have have fun. I love you very much. Thanks for watching. Ciao. Mata ne. You know the rules, and so do I. Try and get the chords down. Behind you, give you up. I'm gonna set you down. I'm gonna ride you and hurt you. I'm gonna make you cry. Say goodbye and hurt you. Try and get the chords down. They're all flat. Never gonna get you. Never gonna We've known each other for so long. Your heart's been aching, but you're too shy to say it. Inside we both know what's been going on. We know the game and we're gonna play it. I just wanna tell you how I'm feeling. Down, desert you, let you cry. And singing my I tell a lie. Then hurt you, give you up, let you down, run around, desert you, Never gonna make you cry. Never gonna say goodbye. Till a lie or hurt you. Oh, make you cry. Never gonna lie or hurt you. Let's get up. Ha. Chew.